The night was thick, a heavy darkness that seemed to cling to every tree and stone in the village of Ekwueme. The wind moaned through the hollow trunks of the forest, carrying whispers that sounded like names, familiar yet not quite. People stayed indoors, doors bolted, fires burning long into the night, all except for one man. Oba was a young drummer, known for his unmatched skill on the talking drum, a slender hourglass instrument he had inherited from his father. The drum was no ordinary instrument. It was carved from the heartwood of a sacred tree, its skin tightly stretched, still warm from the hide of a mysterious beast no one had seen. Oba had been warned never to play it after sunset, for the spirits of the dead were said to hear its call. But the drum called to him as much as he did to it, and that night, curiosity outweighed caution. Oba lifted the drum and struck the first beat. The sound rolled through the village like a rolling thunder, vibrating deep into the earth. At first, nothing happened. Then a single candle flickered across the village square. Then another, and another, until every home's flame danced to the rhythm of Oba's drum. The wind grew sharper, voices whispering louder, and then he heard it, a soft shuffle of footsteps, careful, deliberate. From the shadows emerged figures pale as mist, their eyes empty yet piercing. Villagers' hearts froze as these beings slowly circled the drum. Oba realized with a shock that these were not living people. These were the dead, summoned by the sound of his drum. And with their arrival, the air grew colder, thick with the smell of earth and decay, and the forest itself seemed to hold its breath. By dawn, Oba sat trembling outside his hut, the drum lying silently on his lap. His hands shook, remembering the hollow eyes and slow movements of the dead. He knew that he had crossed a line that no living person was meant to cross. Nneke, the village elder and healer, approached him carefully. Her eyes were sharp as a hawk's, and her presence commanded silence. "You have summoned them," she said softly, not as a question, but as a statement heavy with judgment. Oba nodded, ashamed. "I did not mean harm. I only wanted to hear their stories, to know what lies beyond." Nneke shook her head. "Curiosity can be dangerous. A drum can call spirits that do not rest lightly, and now they follow a rhythm only you can hear. If you play again, they may not leave when the sun rises. They may come for the living." Oba looked down at the drum, fear and longing warring in his chest. "Can I send them back?" "You can," Nneke replied, "but it will not be easy. You must journey to the forest of shadows, where the tree that birthed your drum still stands. Only there will you learn the secret of its power and how to undo what has been done." Oba packed a small bag, carrying nothing but the drum, a gourd of water, and a knife for protection. As he entered the forest, the trees seemed taller, darker, their branches twisted like reaching hands. Shadows danced at the edge of his vision, and every crack of a twig sounded like footsteps behind him. After hours of walking, he reached a clearing where the moonlight fell directly on an ancient tree, its bark dark and scarred. The tree seemed alive, watching him. The drum vibrated softly in his hands, responding to the heartbeat on the forest. A voice echoed from the branches. "You have awakened us," it said. It was not angry, yet not entirely human either. "Why do you seek to silence what you have called?" Oba bowed his head. "I only wished to see, to understand, but now I fear my own power. Please teach me how to set things right." The tree shivered and the wind carried the scent of old earth and memories. It said, "You must play the song of return, But know this, the song will demand a price. The dead will ask for something they lost in life, and if you refuse, they may claim it from the living. Oba's heart dumped with fear, but also with determination. He said, I will do whatever is necessary. Oba sat beneath the ancient tree and began to drum, slowly at first, then building rhythm, as if the forest itself beat through him. The sound was low, vibrating through the soil and up into the roots of the tree. One by one, the spirits appeared, drawn by the call. Each approached him silently, hands outstretched. Some were children, some old men and women, all bearing the sadness of unfinished stories. We have called you back, a spirit whispered. Now we ask what was taken from us. The first, a woman with hollow eyes, stepped forward. She said, I want my child, lost before I could hold him. Oba's heart ached. He could not restore life, yet he could not ignore her plea. He tapped a slow, deep rhythm, and the drum began to glow faintly. From its skin rose a vision, the woman's child, smiling and safe, playing among the leaves. For a moment, the spirit wept, then faded into peace. One by one, each spirit told their story, each asking for a piece of themselves. Some asked for forgiveness, some for remembrance, and some for simple acknowledgement. Each time Oba drummed, he felt their weight lifting, though the effort drained him to the bone. But then a figure appeared, taller, darker, and more solid than the others. A man with eyes that burned like coals. He growled, I want more than memories. I want life. Oba's hands froze. He knew he could not grant this, but the spirit's power was immense, and the forest trembled. If Oba refused, the spirit could take life by force. He realized the only way to survive was to outsmart him. Oba struck the drum with sudden intensity, faster and louder than before. The rhythm filled the clearing, shaking the trees and causing the shadows to twist and writhe. The spirits lunged at him, and Oba leapt aside, drumming with every ounce of strength, weaving a pattern that mimicked the heartbeats of the forest. The ground seemed to rise and fall beneath him, and the spirit's form flickered, unable to hold shape against the force of the music. Then, in a daring move, Oba struck the drum with both hands at once, producing a single resonant note that seemed to pierce the very sky. The spirit screamed, a sound that rattled the bones, then dissipated into smoke and wind. Oba fell to the ground, exhausted, the drum trembling in his lap. All the spirits were gone now, leaving only a faint mist and the sound of the forest breathing again. He had survived, but he knew the drum's power was a dangerous gift. One wrong beat, one moment of curiosity, and the dead would return. Oba returned to his village at dawn, the sun casting long shadows over the huts. Indeka met him at the edge of the forest. You have done what few could, she said, her voice both proud and weary. The drum is no longer merely yours. It carries the weight of the dead. Use it wisely or bury it forever. Oba nodded, exhausted but wiser. He placed the drum in a stone chamber beneath his home, covering it with charms and herbs. The villagers watched, curious, but none dared ask what had happened. Years passed, and Oba grew older, teaching young drummers the art of rhythm and story, but he never played the drum at night again. He had learned that some stories are not for the living, and some power is too dangerous to wield without respect. Long after Oba's hair had turned silver and his hands had slowed, the the drum lay quietly beneath the stones. Some nights, when the wind blew just right, villagers swore they could hear a faint rhythm, a heartbeat in the dark, reminding them of the delicate balance between the living and the dead. And so, the proverb passed from elder to child. Some drums, once beaten, awaken more than sound. They awaken the souls who sleep beneath the earth. Respect the call, or it may respect you no more. The tale of Oba and the drum became a story whispered in hushed tones, a warning, a mystery, and a reminder that curiosity, courage, and respect are forever intertwined in the rhythm of life and death.